Incoming transmission from Vice Admiral Richard Sams, Regional Coordinator Region 20, SFI.
Command codes verified.
Good afternoon and good evening. Good evening to those in Region 20. Good afternoon to anyone who's watching us from across the rest of the fleet. So if you want to be completely technical, and good night to anyone who's in Region 11, because I know it's quite late over there. I'm joined, as you can see, this evening by two of my Admiralty Board colleagues, Fleet Captain Justin Fitek, who's the Regional Coordinator for Region 4, and Vice Admiral Ryan Case, who is the Regional Coordinator for Region 2. Very good evening, gents. Thank you very much for joining me.
Thanks for having us, Rich.
Thank you for having me.
For those who weren't aware, the reason we're doing this is that there was originally a plan for there to be an Admiralty Board meeting this evening, but that's been postponed to a later date. So because I knew people would be available, I thought I'd throw in something. And it's an opportunity, certainly for members in Region 20, to ask some other RCs views and questions about stuff. Because as I've been very, very adamant and very clear in all my time as RC, I do not know everything. Don't pretend to know everything, and these gentlemen may well know stuff that I don't know. So please do chuck us any questions, and we will see what's going on. So you guys won't see all the. So it's coming here. So Phil is a previous Region 1 member who's moved to Region 20 because he moved over to the UK. And he's still getting used to the fact that it's 9 p.m. here, but the sun is still out for a while as we're getting towards the equinox. So it's quite funny. He's adapting. He's adapting well as a former Region 1 refugee in Region 20. But no, that's good. So if anyone has any questions, then we'll ask. What can I think about to tell you that's gone on recently? Not a lot, because we haven't had a meeting, so I've got nothing to update you on.
When you guys get a chance, go see Top Gun Maverick. If that's
there you are.
If that's your thing. I saw it last night and was completely blown away.
Yes, it is.
I was going to say something about.
Yeah.
I was going to say something about the stuff on Paramount Plus, but yeah, we're on the wrong channel. Sorry, guys.
Yes, we will. Just will come on. Justin said, are you both up to date with the last episode of Strange New Worlds? I said, well, no, I haven't looked at any of it yet because Paramount Plus doesn't launch over here until sometime in the next month. But there you go. And that's been a source of discussion, quite why they've decided to do different launch dates. Oh, there we go.
Hello.
And now joining us to put it on is Bran Stimson, who's the regional coordinator for Region 17. And I would just like to point out that having a beard isn't a requisite to be on the Admiralty Board.
That's good, because this is not a beard. This is like, I don't know what that is, but I'm not like the rest of you guys. I feel
it is not a prerequisite as the three ladies we have on the board at the moment. Is it 3? Certainly 2.
Well, I know Vi and Helen.
Yeah. Well, I'm thinking there's someone else.
Well, we get a lot of communication from the VRC. Yeah, she's VRC
I'm probably
for
thinking
13.
of who's a VRC because she's doing a lot of dialogue about the VIC at the moment and whatever. But there you are. Yes, Phil mentions another point, and I mentioned this to Justin and Ryan before we started. DST London has been cancelled. Was cancelled yesterday, so there won't be a big Trek focused event with lots of stars on in the UK this year. They're focusing everything on Germany in July, so that's understandably upset quite a lot of people who were planning to go, some who'd already bought tickets, but completely out of our control.
Yeah, I saw that posted somewhere yesterday, and I read it, and I'm like, "Oh, that sucks for over there."
Yeah. Shame, but there you go. Ho ho. Onwards and upwards. We'll find something else. Find something else to do, or somewhere else to go. I'm quite sure. I'm keeping an eye up and down on the comments in case anyone actually asks a question. We were just going through it. Brian, you might better things. I was going to give an update on news, but then I realised that we haven't got much news because we've not had a meeting.
Yeah, that does make it a little difficult.
Yeah. The only thing I will talk about that thing that no one talks about until the 1st of June. But Wednesday is the 1st of June, which is the start of the nomination phase for the Commander Starfleet election. And just a reminder for Region 20 that we'll do what we did last time, is we will set up a separate Facebook group and a Discord channel for people who want to discuss the CS election. They can do it there without spamming the main group and annoying everyone who really doesn't care about it. But what I would say is,
if you're planning on voting, be ready. You have to be active as a member by August 1st, I believe.
Yes. Yeah. We've that's been quite good because bless him, our Inspector General has been quite good at pumping that out, and that's been pushed onwards for the by the chapter COs. That
there you go, Mark. Put that one up, Sam.
No.
Come on, put it up. There you go.
No. No. It's an absolute no.
Why not? Come on.
Absolute no. Right. Actually, Mr. Logan, I will send my husband round to discuss with you why that's a no. And you've met my husband, so you know the sort of reception you're going to get. So no, that's not.
That doesn't sound good. Yeah.
Watch your back there, Mr. Logan.
Yeah. So no, the second did.
Oh, that was a second. Look at that. You already got two.
Yeah, that's my chief of staff doing that. Pip asked a quick question. People. So what will happen, Pip, is people will start announcing that they're running. So platforms for CS and VCS will be announced. It will, if memory serves, how Steve Stott does it is very similar to how he does regional elections. He will do regular announcements that, you know, these people have put themselves forward. Now, I know it's slightly different in this respect. You can't just go, thankfully, you can't just nominate Sams for CS if Sams hasn't announced he's running for CS.
We can change the rules between now and then. I mean,
no, we can't. We haven't got a meeting.
Oh, yeah,
we can't.
Well, we have a meeting during the nomination phase, so we could change it in the phase.
Yeah.
The change.
Get right off some people, can't you? There you go. So, but Steve will put stuff out, and then what is usually happened is, and then teams will announce themselves, and they will then provide links to their platforms, whether they've got a website or a Facebook page or something else. That's usually how it will go. But then, say Steve Stott will send stuff out, and we'll pick up for across the region 20. We'll pick up on that and make sure people know it. And I'm quite sure my colleagues will do the same in their own regions so that people do it. So going back to what we were saying, so two things we pointed out. You need to be a member in good standing on the 1st of August to be eligible to vote. So please, if your renewal date is around then, I would argue if your renewal date is anything from the middle of July to the middle of August, then
not happening, John.
Yeah. So,
not happening.
You get tucked up here. I would suggest you look at it and make sure that your renewal's gone through in good time. But the other thing as well is do look at what who is putting themselves forward and what they're proposing, because each chapter in good standing, and actually in Region 20, that's all the chapters at the moment, because currently we don't have any chapters that are under strength or are in training. So every chapter has a vote, but it's like everything else. It's like with the regional coordinator elections, while your CO will be the person who puts forward the nomination, they should do so after having consulted with you, the crew. So start looking and having those discussions on your chapter pages, or however you as a chapter chat amongst yourselves, and make sure that you're happy with the chapter with the nomination that your CO puts forward.
Hey, Rich.
Yes,
I just happened to pull. I was pulling it up. It's June 1st to July 15th nominations. June 1st campaigns can commence. July 15th, the election coordinator has to have all nominations by this date. July 16th, qualified candidates are announced, and then August 1st is when the campaign literature goes out.
There you go. Thank you, Ryan. There you go. Great, perfect timeline there as to what's going on. As I mentioned before, the last time I did one of these, what I am proposing to do is on the 16th of July, I will send out an invitation to all of the confirmed candidates to join me on one of these. That will be. It's not. I'm not pretending it's an official meet the candidates thing. It will be something that Region 20 does to invite those who are standing to come and chat. What we'll probably do is probably set it slightly sometime into August, so that it will give us a chance to seek questions. Because what I don't want is to have people come on and then people keep asking the same question because they've joined the chat at different times, and then we have to keep saying, "Oh, well, we've already answered that. You need to go back and this and whatever." Is there you go. Just have to do that. There's a question for Bran from Pip there. Your LCARS screen. You're muted. I think you're muted.
Yep, that's okay. That is, well, it's really old. That's running what was called LCARS 47. It was a screensaver program, and it's running off of this little Windows XP box that I can't upgrade anymore, so it just does that. You can actually find these screens, I believe, on YouTube if you look it up. It's LCARS 47, I think. So that's all. It just runs through. It's a screensaver, pretty much. That's all that really is, Pip.
I was just wondering. I was wanting to say I loved the Defiant aspect of it because
it goes through a couple of Defiant things. It's mostly these weird engineering kind of screens, but every once in a while it's got a cool thing. We actually run this on our display at conventions on a bunch of different screens and stuff. I was testing it about a week ago and realized that it's in my camera shot, and I was like, "Hey, I'm going to leave this here."
Yeah, I was thinking that it would go on to go well on a convention stand.
Yeah, we put it on 3 or 4 screens on our big display.
Mainly because it's moving, and that makes such a difference, doesn't it? Yeah,
it
rather
does.
than being static. Oh, the Commander Starfleet's joined us. Good evening, Stephen.
Hey, Steve.
Yeah.
Good afternoon, Steve.
Yes.
He's been kind of busy earlier today.
Yeah.
Why did we cancel our meeting today again? I don't remember.
No idea.
Why today's meeting got canceled? Why was that? I don't remember anymore.
Yeah, I don't even think it was really discussed.
That's all that matters.
Yeah.
John mentions that the VRC webpage is now up and running.
It is. It looks really good too.
It is.
Just look at it.
It is sharp.
It is.
Like, if you guys have not seen it, go. It is very cool.
Yeah. If
Aaron and her team are doing a fantastic job.
Yes. Yeah. There's a heck of a lot of work gone into it so far. So it should be.
It's sfi-vic.com.
.com.
The featured guests and the special greetings section is particularly exciting.
sfi-vic.com.
Yep.
Bung that into the comment.
Bing, 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 bing.
Yeah. It goes out on about 3 or 4 different platforms. So the comment goes everywhere.
But yeah, Aaron and that team have done such a good job. I'm deeply impressed. they've also been working on it for months on end too. So
yeah, it looks like it's going to be a really good weekend. Obviously, not as good as being able to meet in person.
Yeah, for sure.
But it's probably the next best thing, to be perfectly honest. So we'll, something to look forward to. And that's the 13th of August.
Yeah.
Saturday the 13th of August. I think it kicks off. I think it's 6 p.m. for Region 20, if memory serves. But no, you're not. I think it's 6 p.m. But don't take that as gospel, and we will.
John Hardy, do you know? I was reading the chat. John Hardy is the rep for VIC. Is that time correct?
Well, it should be on the website, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm sure it's on the website. I'm just going from memory that it's around then.
Oh, so you're going to do the time change thing.
I'm looking at the agenda right now.
Math is hard.
Yeah, and everything being auctioned, any money that basically goes and gets paid into this goes to our scholarship funds.
Scholarship fund, yeah,
for Starfleet. So fret not that your money will wind up in the wrong place. Like, these are going to go to help fund 2 new ones and help fund the 3 existing ones in perpetuity. We're hoping to kind of keep this rolling. We've already got some really fun stuff that has been brought forward. I kind of got a glimpse of how this is going to run during the Region 13 summit end of last year. And if it's anything like that, like, this will be fantastic. They sold a batleth.
Oh, yeah, I can imagine getting that through the post. That would
that was fun. I'm sure that was.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That'd be fun. Yeah.
I think part of the donation was paying for shipping.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's good. So, all right, I'll pop it up because we had this discussion before we came live that we knew the D word would get mentioned at some point.
You mean
the D word? Oh, well, that's the question, isn't it?
It is.
Mm-hmm.
It is the question of the day.
Yeah.
I can't even begin to pretend like we know the exact answer. Just know that on the other side of this, we are asking a lot.
Yeah.
I think I can speak for everyone on the screen when I say that we share exactly the same frustrations.
I might be slightly more working for member services, but not by much.
Yeah. I imagine it's making your life, your job twice as hard. Right?
It's a little difficult to help some of the people that are having issues when the database we just had a member's rank just randomly change the other day. Just no good reason whatsoever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. That's good.
We demoted him by 3 steps, I think. So.
Oh, I was going to say if it'd gone up, they'd go. I'm being honest. I'm flagging it, but leave it as long as you want before you.
Exactly right. Oh,
it goes down.
No, unfortunately, it was a demotion, but we got it fixed. The bigger problem was trying to figure out when his actual promotion happened because it was like 4 years ago.
Oh wow!
And when your rank changes in the database, all the historical data changes with it. So, like, all your submitted MSRs from perpetuity.
Yes.
All now have your current rank, which is kind of silly, but it's just easy for a database to do that. So
yeah.
So I got one even better for you on that one there, Brand.
Yeah,
I had a member join up and immediately have rank.
Oh, there you go. That works. What rank was it? Was it a good rank? Was
no, he was actually put him as an enlisted.
Oh, well, hey, got to start somewhere,
right? Yeah. But I just thought that was extremely hilarious. I'm like, wait a minute here.
Well, we do that in my chapter. We assign everybody when they join an enlisted rank, and then if they take some tests and do some stuff, they get officer rank. But
that's exactly what we do as well. You start off enlisted, and then you're eligible to go through after 6 months if you've passed OTS, and then.
Well, then I must be the lucky captain because I started everybody off as an ensign.
Yeah,
well, I joined the wrong group.
Yeah. But
we start off at petty officer 3rd class is where we start.
Yeah. Oh, we start right at the bottom. We start off as crewman recruit.
Yeah, that's where we start. Crewman recruit at the bottom. Yeah.
You do a month.
Look at my crew roster. That's what 99% of my members are.
Yeah, you do a month as crewman recruit, then automatically up to crewman apprentice, and then third month crewman, and then after that, promotion is based on the chapter's promotion point system, which essentially rewards interaction.
Yeah,
So
that's what we do. Yeah.
If you're an active member of the group, you score more points, you get promoted quicker.
Yep.
We've got basically the same. Ours just has a higher starting point.
Yeah.
Until you take OTS, you can't get to ensign, and then you get auto promoted to that when you take the OTS and pass it. And then ours goes to commander when you pass OCC.
Oh, yeah. And we also to stretch out the officer ranks a bit. We use midshipmen as well. So your first commissioned rank, technically, well, if it's a commission rank, it is that. John's just confirmed. Starts at 5 p.m. 5 p.m. UTC, which for R20 will be 6 p.m. British summertime, which is what we're currently on, or what we will be on in August. That will be a 6 p.m. start for us.
Okay.
See, that's why you need to be CS. You got that right without even having to know it.
I know.
It's easy. No, this is why it's easy, because UTC is based on GMT, and we're just GMT +1 at the moment, so it's easy.
I don't even know.
Yeah, I'm so used to the American time frame.
Yeah,
I get thrown UTC, and I'm like, huh?
Yeah, I'm like, what does that even stand for?
Yeah,
great.
Universal time code.
It's numbers. It's math. It's math.
Yeah,
there's another reason to math.
I just always know I'm 6 hours behind Rich. It's easy.
Behind everything, right? That is
my general pinpoint for colleagues in the States is 6 hours, accepting that it's slightly more if you're further.
Well, it's like I'm 6, Brand's 7, and Justin's 8.
Yeah.
Because you're 1 hour behind me, Brand, and Justin's.
Oh, you're in Central?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were in Eastern. I keep forgetting you're in the Western side of Mississippi.
I mean, Mississippi is Central.
Oh, is it all of it? I don't even know.
It's the Georgia state line with Alabama is the.
Oh, is that where it is? I don't even. Moved out here 20 years ago. You think I know that by now?
It's mostly irrelevant.
That is.
The bonus of living in a country that's as small as some of your larger states. The time stays the same wherever you go.
Yes, that's. Trust me,
it's what's funny is like Region 3 is like, oh, it's just Texas and Louisiana. That's a lot of land.
That's a lot of land. That's a lot of land.
And I mean,
I can drive for 11 hours in Texas and still be in Texas.
Yes, sir. I did that when I drove to the Dallas IC many years ago. I was like, am I out of the state yet? And they're like, no, you got a couple more hours. I'm like, oh my God. I just want to be out of Texas.
Yeah. As I mean, like for Region 4, I've got California, Arizona, Nevada, and Hawaii.
Yeah. See, Arizona really is part of Region 17, but that's all.
Do any of you have different time zones within your region, or is it?
Yeah, I have Eastern and Central.
I believe Arizona is Mountain, whereas California.
Isn't Arizona like a bunch of them, because some of Arizona doesn't do the time change, and
they also don't do daylight savings time.
Yeah. It's crazy. I'm all one time zone. That's all I care about.
Yeah.
Even better is inside of Arizona that doesn't do it. There is a reserve that does, and inside of that, there's another smaller reserve that doesn't.
Crazy stuff. And beyond. Antoinette's gone because she's based in Ireland. So you can go across the entire country in 4 hours. Know that as we did it recently. Well, we went up and down, actually. That was still about 4 hours from the bottom up to Dublin. About 4 hours. Yes, that's good. And London, cool, yeah. I think, would it take you 11? Anyone know, if you did like Land's End to John O'Groats type thing, would that take 11 hours? Probably. But that's the southernmost point and the northernmost point of Great Britain. Land's End to John O'Groats. Yeah.
I think I drive 11 hours. I don't even think I get to Ryan.
Yeah. There you go. Question
Where
from
are
Philip.
you, Brian?
Say what?
Where are
Question
you?
from Philip.
Denver, Colorado.
Yeah, no. 11 hours, there's no chance you get here.
I couldn't even get to Denver in 11 hours.
Are you in San Fran?
Sacramento.
Oh, you're in Sacramento.
But technically, I suppose technically I could get to Denver in 11 hours. Acknowledge I have to get on a plane to do it.
Yes, yeah.
You can fly directly into Denver.
I know that's 11 hours.
Yeah.
I know it's a flight I would never want to take, but
Yeah.
That would definitely cause some chaos, Philip. I just saw that pop up, and I'm wondering what would that entail.
what?
Yeah, England is roughly the size of Missouri. So my state is bigger than your country.
My state is bigger than your country. That's a great way
You
to
have more people.
Ryan.
Yeah. You have more people, though. There are not a lot of people in this trip. I'm watch my language in this.
Nice recovery. Nice recovery.
Well saved. Yeah.
Well, to get to you, Justin, it would only take me 2 hours and 25 minutes by plane.
Right?
Yeah. 17 hours to drive.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Crazy. Yeah. So redistricting the US resident. I think the chapters per region is a slight. I would say, well, it wouldn't be because just some, as Ryan just gave a really good example there. His state might be larger than England, but there's more people in England because there are lots of.
Just to give you the scale, how many people do you think are in England? Just the country of England.
Population?
Yeah.
I've got no idea. I know it's because we've got some massive centres of like London. The big cities are quite dense.
Just a hair under 56 million.
Yeah.
Good God.
Mississippi has a hair under 3.
Yeah. Now we can bounce this around all night then. So your state's bigger than my country, but my city's got more people than your state.
Yeah,
There's
absolutely.
about 5 million in London.
Yeah, nobody lives here.
In my state's got 5 million.
I think the population of my city is a little over 2 million.
Yeah.
I want to say.
I was going to actually say
Sacramento.
The year I pulled or that Google pulled was 2018, so it's probably changed a little bit.
Oh yeah,
since then.
Minus 2020 for Colorado, but
lots of births in the last 2 years. Not a lot to do.
Yeah,
right?
Sure. But I mean, Philip's got a good question because I know like Region 1 has talked about restructuring a bunch of times because they're like the majority up and down, kind of
the biggest region in the country right now.
Yeah, but it's
personally, I don't know why my region doesn't have the Carolinas and or Tennessee.
So yeah, like I don't
generally the Southeast includes them.
We don't have Arizona because the way it's all set up, but whatever. I mean, it'd be interesting to go back and look and see why the regions were kind of divided out the way they were.
Yeah, I was just looking at England.
Yeah.
I just Googled the population for my city, and we are a little over 500 million.
Yeah. I'm
And
not going to get
that
into
was as of
politics,
2020.
but that's why when people put up those voting maps, it's like just shake your head because they don't mean a whole lot.
Yeah.
There are so many more people in spots than my entire state is the point.
Yeah. I
No,
did not realize we were that. Wow.
Yeah. It is an interesting question about rejigging. So looking at where, because I know from the history of what's now Region 20, back in the day, originally we were part of what is now Region 9. So the whole of Europe, including the United Kingdom and Ireland, were part of. I think that was called Region 10 at the time. I think I haven't looked at the history bit for quite a while, and then it all got shifted around, and we became a separate region.
Do you also have Scotland in your region?
Sorry, second.
I was just asking if you also had Scotland in your region.
Yes. So it's the entire United Kingdom. That's England, Scotland, Wales, Northern Ireland, and the Republic. And I mustn't forget the outlying islands. So like the Isle of Man and the Isle of Wight and probably the Channel Islands. Now that would be an interesting question if everybody wants it up on there, whether they would get the option as to whether they went in 20 or 9. But then, 9, you could say, you look at Region 9 is massive. It's got something like 30 countries in it, with a whole bunch of languages. So that's a massive area. Region, what's America? Region 18's got something like.
Well, they're the whole of South Africa, South America.
So because he's got all of the different flags around his new regional logo, hasn't he? He did tell us it's 20. It's in the 20s, if not in the 30s.
Yeah.
So, so there are some massive regions, but then it's whether. But then if you look at Region 9 doesn't have a huge amount of chapters. Region 18 is slowly growing, so that there may be requests from within those regions at some point to reconfigure. Reconfigure to make it more applicable. But Region 1 is still 49, something like that, chapters. It's really big. My hat off to Philip the RC and his staff. I wouldn't want to be reading through 49 MSRs every month.
Yeah.
Oof.
I want to say my region's like the 3rd or 4th largest, but that's in like chapter count, not membership.
Yeah, I've got like 18 chapters in Region 4 right now.
Yeah. But we've got 13, which is really good.
Just to address the population where I live, the town I live in has 24,000 people. The county that I live in has 154,000.
Yeah.
And I live next to the biggest city in the state.
How many chapters do you have, Brand?
17's got 6 chapters and about 250 members. I'm 162 of those 250.
Yeah, I have 24 chapters, 468 members.
Yeah, we've got just under 600 members in 13.
Yeah, take out the Cucullin and how do you say that? How do you say that? Did I say it right?
Cucullin. Yeah, that's
okay.
That's I've pronounced it like that, and have been told by members of the chapter that is an acceptable pronunciation.
Oh, okay, good. I don't want to. It's 250 members. You don't want to piss them off too soon.
No, I wonder how Alan does that.
Yeah, I've tried to get that out of him. We're working with him in orientation. I'm like, how do you have that many members? And he just smiles and nods pretty much.
Yeah,
like, thanks.
I know. We had the discussion that he sets aside a week to do. He tends to. I can understand it. He tends to do a big bulk of promotions twice a year, and he sets aside about a week. He says to go through and check who needs promoting, and then going in and doing stuff. Doing stuff correct, but
I remember sitting at an IC where somebody mispronounced Kahula, and it was like Kahulahan. Oh no!
Oh god, yeah,
that was wrong. I'm not confident in my pronunciation, but I know that wasn't it.
I don't even attempt it.
The worst one I've heard, and I appreciate members of the chapter may have heard worse, was I think it was the first virtual IC we did, where they did the whole chapter. Roll call was done as a read-off voice thing, and that software just didn't get anywhere near
Cachulane or whatever.
Cachula. Hot sauce. Yeah. That's what it is, right?
Yeah, no, it was awful. That was a really bad. That was a really bad one. But thankfully that's the only one we've got. Oh, the other one we've got that people sometimes mispronounce is one of our chapters up in Scotland. One of our space docks is Boobry, and it does have an R in it, so not booby but Boobry. that got mispronounced.
Thanks for pointing that out. Appreciate that.
Yeah,
right. Yeah. I just checked my region strength report. I've got 18 chapters at 459 members.
Beat you.
Yeah.
Another question from Philip. So, how long have each you been in your positions, and are you hoping to do it again?
I think we need to start chopping Philip per question. I mean, he's just asking these things left and right. He likes to stir the pot, but that's cool.
Yeah.
Those of us that are on. Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh no, Justin, go ahead. You're the newest. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was just about to say, the four of us that are on the screen, I am the newest member of the Admiralty Board, and I've been in office since February of this year.
Yes, you are technically, aren't you? Because Mike doesn't officially take over for 12 until next month or July, June or July.
June or July, yeah, I don't remember when. And then I know
Tom
15 changes in July.
Yeah.
And then we just changed somebody else too. Who did we just change? Somebody else is changing too. But I have been regional coordinator off and on for Region 17, excuse me, for about 17 years. I stopped to be vice commander Starfleet in the 2010s, I think is when that was, or ended in 2010. And then took a kind of a step back for a couple of years, which was horrible. But I guess I'm here until they decide I don't want to be here anymore. Or I decide I don't want to be here. My wife decides. Somebody decides. One of those things happened.
No, you get depressed when you're not doing Starfleet.
No, thanks, dear.
And I've been RC since 2014. I'm in my 8th year, and I'm not planning on running again. Going to take a little break from this for the foreseeable future. We'll see how long it lasts.
Yeah. I've been the end of this year, because we have an election at the end of this year, and that will be my 3rd term. So that's 6 years then, isn't it?
Yeah.
And as to whether I'm going to run again or not, I'll just to get back at all you gits who were pushing me up for CS, I'll let you know later on if I'm going to run for RC again or not.
That's actually how it's been working for me. Is like, is this somebody I want to work with? No.
No, but it's and this is interesting as well. It's quite an interesting question, Philip. But sort of a side discussion that we've had at Admiralty Board meetings over the last year or so is actually it's essentially 2 different jobs, possibly 3, but definitely 2. There is this part of it, which is us reaching out to region and being, the titular head and the focus for the region. But then there's our work on the Admiralty Board, which is where we sort of switch slightly, because we all of us have a legal responsibility there. We are actually the board of directors for an incorporated organisation, so it's so it is 2 separate jobs really, because you've got to focus for you want to work with the chapters, promote the chapters, recognition. A big thing for me, as Region 20 knows, is recognition. We've got lots of people who do lots of great stuff, so I'm really keen that people get recognised for that. We have underutilised recognition systems in SFI, the orders of merit, big bone of contention for me that they're not used anywhere near as much as they should be. But then you've got the flip side where we're looking at the bigger picture, the corporate picture, which is what it is. But I think it's needs to be a big part of people. I would suggest it needs to be a big part of people's thinking when they're weighing up about wanting to become RC. Is it's not just all the being the dude at the front who's giving out the promotions and awards. It's about doing the other bits as well. I don't know what the rest of you think. That's just my
I think you hit it pretty much right on the head there, Richard.
You made it sound really good. That's for sure.
Yeah. It's good, wasn't it? Yeah.
But I think that legal responsibility you mentioned to the corporation is pretty big.
Yes.
And a lot of people don't understand that, or don't really think about it, I suppose.
Yeah.
Because Starfleet did incorporate as a 501c7 in the United States, there's a corporate board and fiduciary responsibilities and all that fun stuff that you got to think about. It's not just handing out awards or collecting titles.
Yeah, there's a business aspect of it that we have to take into consideration and do to the best of our ability.
That's what
And those is worth pointing out as well, because it was a previous international RC found of this. They thought they were clear, but no, just because I'm not a resident of the US doesn't mean I don't have the same legal responsibilities or possible liabilities that my colleagues have because they're in the States. I'm a duly elected member of the board of this organisation, therefore I'm as liable as anyone else.
Maybe more.
Yeah, possibly more.
Possibly.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Blame the Brit. Why not? Yeah.
I like Ian's question.
Yes, I was just gonna chuck that up. Ian's question there is RC's, what is or has been the best or most memorable thing you've done while in office? I'll go first because I know what mine is. It was in 2020 when we got into lockdown and we were all a bit shocked. And I asked a couple of people in the region who said yes. And within a week, we put together an online weekend convention, which had loads of people getting involved. And it was exactly what was needed at that point. That's the best. Loads of other good things, but I'm going to say that's the best one I've had so far. Who wants to go next?
Not necessarily the best thing, but the most memorable so far in my short time in office is, sadly, I've had to decommission a vessel because of understrength. And I'm not sure how long the vessel was around for Starfleet in my region, but I had to do part of our job as RC is to basically, in a Americanized term, trim the fat.
Yeah, that is,
and it was
deeply
not
unpleasant. And it was actually one of the first things I did when I hit office was doing the same things. Like, man, I've got so many ships here that need to step up or get out. Some stepped up, some didn't.
Yeah.
I think this is more membership level stuff. I'm not sure how to answer it properly, but my most memorable thing was making it to all of the in-person ICs that have happened since I got elected. In particular, enjoyed the one up in Minneapolis. That's where me and Rich actually got to meet one another.
Yeah, very good weekend that was.
Got to share my Alaskan Amber with you.
Yes.
I didn't hand you a pissy lager, as you put it.
No, absolutely did not. Yeah.
For me, I guess, gosh, it's kind of hard because being off and on and doing it for so long, but launching new chapters, meeting new people, just making friends. I mean, that's one of the things that I point out to people that we're trying to recruit at conventions and stuff is like, I could fly into London and give Richard a call and be like, hey, I'm going to be in your neighborhood. You got time for lunch or something?
Yeah.
Or go to Sacramento or go to Hicksville, Mississippi. I don't know. You got friends all over the place and all the way from New Zealand to the States. So that's the best stuff is just the friends you make and watching kind of the organization grow and change over the years has been really cool. The worst thing is easy. The 8 and 10 hour AB meetings that used to happen at ICs, those are horrible. When you just sit in a room for an entire day and discuss, politics really of the group. I mean, it's needed. It was needed at the time. And with modern stuff, we've made that much better. But just 10 hours of sitting in a room arguing about Starfleet politics is hideous.
Yeah, absolutely.
Especially when your family is out, touring some city somewhere that you've never been to, and you're in a room going, "Oh, well, that's nice. I get a ham sandwich."
Yeah, my first in-person IC was Niagara Falls, and all of my ship that came with me were all out seeing the falls and seeing some of the battlements and stuff like that. And then I'm stuck in that room for 11 hours. I was like, I want to die. This is terrible.
But I'm glad I don't have to partake of that.
Well, hopefully we'll get back to in-person ICs. I mean, the virtual ICs are great, and I think there's definitely a space for those, to be honest, because not everybody, Richard and everybody overseas can't come, to the States every year to play around for a few hours. Especially nowadays, it's incredibly expensive. But an in-person IC just is really awesome because doing this is great. I mean, this is the only time I've ever seen Richard is on these Zoom calls, and that's it. I haven't made it to the ICs he's made it to, but those are memories you build, right? I mean, is meeting people in person. These are great, and those are just one step higher. Although they're a pain to run, and a headache, but we'll see what happens next year, I guess.
Yeah. And as I think, echoed those that have been on our regional summits that we've had have all echo exactly the same as what Brand said, that, it was the difference between actually physically meeting those people you've been engaging with online is just makes such a huge difference. And it's just the same. Second same as the summits as it is at RC. It's all the stuff that happens sitting in the bar outside of the sessions is the stuff that you remember, because that's where all the real good laughs are had and all the real good memories are made.
Yeah, not in the AB meeting for 11 hours.
No, definitely not.
There's no good memories there. None. Well, that's not true. That's not true, but pretty much.
So, question from John: What was as RC your first chapter? So, John, just checking. So, do you mean our first chapter as a member, or our first chapter that we launched when we were RC? I suppose there's two questions there you could ask, isn't there?
Or all the above.
Yeah. Go on then. Well, let's deal with that. So, my first chapter in SFI still exists, but with a different name. So, my first chapter when I joined, it was called the ISS Saratoga. It was a Mirror Universe ship that folded, relaunched again as another Mirror Universe ship, became the USS Ark Royal, and then became the USS Stargazer, which is still active. It's the longest running ship in Region 20. And the first chapter that I launched as RC. Oh, God. I'll have to look that one up. I really can't remember, which is good because it means there's been a few. But yeah, no, I can't remember that one. Right, someone else give a go then while I'm looking this up.
I joined the USS Hayes and have always been on the USS Hayes, so that answer is very easy.
That's cheating.
Right? It's like I joined as Joe Schmo member and have been here ever since. And now I'm the CO over 2012, so 10 years. And the first chapter I launched, unless I'm mistaken, was the USS Appalachia, which is a ship out of northern Georgia.
Well, I joined a ship that is no longer part of Starfleet back in 2015 called the USS Independence, and I've yet to launch a chapter as RC, but hopefully later this year, Lord willing and things going the way they should be going, I should be launching the very first chapter out of the state of Hawaii this year.
Wow.
Bless you.
Sorry.
My first chapter was the USS Mott in Virginia Beach, Virginia, when I was in the Navy. My first fandom organization was outside of Starfleet. They had left Starfleet, was up in Maine, called the USS Casimir. They actually left and came back after I moved away. But that's the first chapter I belonged to, way back in the Navy days. And then the first chapter I launched isn't around anymore. I think it was the USS Tomahawk out of New Mexico. Yeah, I think that's what it was. But I just launched a bunch of chapters in the last couple months, actually.
Yeah, you have, haven't you? You've been really...
Yeah, the region kind of came back around. It's funny how that works. We were kind of quiet here for a while, just with the kind of the three main chapters that have been around for quite a while. The Pioneer is my oldest chapter in the region. They've been around since, I don't know, the turn of the universe. I think about 20 years, if I remember right. We've been around... My chapter has been around for 18 years now. And then we just launched 3 chapters in the last, I think since this year, or right around the beginning of the year. It's nice when people move back into the region and want to do things.
Now, didn't you say you used to be VCS there, Bren?
I was vice commander with Dave Blazer.
Yes.
Yep.
Care to talk about that experience?
Well, that's like hitting a cement barrier at 200 miles an hour. It really is. Way back in the day, for Sal Lazard and Dave and Gary Halverson for a while, I started the member services department. So I was running the help desk, and that kind of stuff way back then. And Dave was like, "Hey, are you interested in stepping up?" And I was like, "Oh, well, I consider it. What are you talking about?" And he was like, "VCS." And I'm like, "Yeah, okay." Just remember, we did I don't remember who was running against us, but we did a debate thing in Oklahoma at a really great state park. I mean, it was a fantastic, oh my God, it was beautiful. But anyway, that was an IC there. I don't remember which one that was. And we got the phone call. I was working, and we would get a phone call from the IG that would inform us who won. So the two candidate groups, it was only two of us, were on the phone, and we won. And I was like, oh crap. Well, now I really got to do stuff, huh? And we got the turnover. And I just remember looking at all the paperwork going, oh, crap. This is way more work than I think anybody really realizes. Yeah. Because you're like, oh, it's a fan group, right? Oh, and I'm RC. I know what we're talking about. It's a whole new ball game. And you go in the door, like I had a bunch of plans and ideas and okay, let's do this with the Marine Corps, and let's try to modernize some stuff, and let's do this and that. And then you hit a wall and you realize there's all this back stuff that hadn't been taken care of or had been let go that you got to clean up, just because of the way the election works and the way the budget cycle works and the way the financials work in here. And it's like, oh, we got to play catch up. And then by the time you're done playing catch up, then you've ignored all this stuff for a couple of months because you're playing catch up. And then it's just like, you're just riding this wave. It's like surfing. But the budget at the time was, I think, what really surprised me. I didn't realize how much money just kind of at that time, we were still at the $15 single membership fee and all that stuff, and printing, CQs and membership certificates and ID cards and handbooks and bylaws and getting freebies mailed out and postage, and you just don't know. You just don't realize how much money is moving around. And that was kind of the biggest shock, was the budget stuff, to be honest. I was like, oh, well, this is much bigger than I realized. But it was a great time. I had a fantastic time as VCS. I loved working with the team we had back in the day. Still really close friends with a bunch of them. But yeah, that was great. I would be dumb enough to do it again probably, but I don't think I'd run for Commander Starfleet. I don't know if I go that far. That's a lot more headache, because you're constantly being bombarded by stuff on all sides. It's a job and a half. It really, it's a full-time job. It really is. That answer your question, Justin? Cool. I bore everybody. Yeah. Everybody muted.
John's ran
off.
Yeah, I think it was. Yeah. Ryan was really interested. A couple for me. I think the first chapter I launched was, I believe, was the USS Appleton. I think, but the first chapter I commissioned while I was RC was the Raven. Now the Appleton as well might have been. They both might have been launched just before I took over as RC, but they were certainly the first couple that were commissioned when I took over. Yeah.
Launching chapter can be fun. I mean, it can be a lot of cool stuff. I mean, it's kind of fun to watch a group of people get together and plan out what they want to do. And
oh yeah, it's great. Yeah, and we've had a couple of the latest chapter we had launched, the USS Reginald Mitchell, are one of our few meeting chapters. That's really good, and it's now nice to see the stuff from them actually being able to have meetings again and get out as the pandemic sort of well, it's not stopped, but it's reached a sort of steady state, isn't it, where people can live again. Yeah, that's really quite cool to getting stuff on MSRs from them and the other meeting chapters, that they're actually getting out and doing meetings again.
Sorry, I bored you so much, Ryan. You had to run away.
Yeah, I can still hear you.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
And Fiona, you're not going to be getting rid of the online stuff. You're not going to be stuck.
No. I think definitely it will be what we will move into is hybrid stuff.
Oh, so
in person, but with the ability to also stream to those who can't physically be.
I think some silver lining from the pandemic that you can take away is a lot of facilities now kind of realize that and know.
Yes.
And they went through and added a lot of capabilities that weren't there 3 short years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Well, being on the job hunt that I'm currently on now and being unemployed, it's really kind of interesting to see now that there are more hybrid and more remote working jobs than ever before. They realize that. I know that the company I was working for at the time, we worked with the IRS, or we did. I'm not there anymore, it was like, oh, you can't do that from your house because you have access to all this personal information and all this stuff, and we can't do it. And then the IRS was like, we're sending our agents home, so they're going to be doing it from home. And we're like, wait, if they're going to do it, why can't I do it, right? I mean,
yeah.
And then it transitioned into that. And I think, honestly, I feel that company would be work from home now if we hadn't just bought a building as the pandemic started.
Oh, that's a bummer.
Yeah. Like they were in the middle of renovating this whole office and modernizing it and everything. And then I had the tour of the building. They split us up into teams to go have the tour. We were the first tour and the only tour because right after that, Colorado, it was like, nope, you work from home now or nothing. And that was enjoyable. I did move during that time and sell a house. So that was kind of convenient for me, but got paid for it. So that worked.
Yeah. I know I was making plans to, down at the Pier of Oakland is the USS Hornet, which is now a floating museum. And I was making plans with a family member who has now moved to Arkansas. He served on that particular vessel.
Oh, nice.
And I was making plans to take my 2 oldest children down there to go do the tour and then go in other areas with him, getting us a little bit extra access. And it was like, nope, nothing's happening.
Yeah. Fiona, yes, exactly like that. So I would imagine that you will have an in-person IC, and there'll be one of the sessions, and then it will all be live streamed, so that people who aren't in the room can see exactly what is going on, and hopefully with some capacity to interact as well. But it'll all depend. But I think the ability to do it is much easier than it was pre-pandemic. Excuse me. Yeah, as Brad said, it makes it a lot easier for international members to get more involved. And as we were discussing earlier, if depending on where in the States the IC is, it could be as far away as we are. So it opens up a lot for a lot more people, hopefully. But we'll see. But this year we're definitely virtual. Looks like it's going to be quite a good event. We're just coming up to about an hour, and bearing in mind, while it's quite late for us in Region 20, there's actually still some day to be focused for my guests, including Ryan, who's done nothing but SFI so far today. So,
really, Ryan has no life, so this is just what he gets to do.
Yeah.
I'm here for it.
That's right. Yeah. He strives on this. We know that.
Yeah.
We will wrap it up. Can I just thank Justin, Ryan, and Brand for joining me this evening. I always say I've ended up doing a couple of these just me on the screen, responding to the comments, and I get really quite weirded out the fact that I'm just sitting here talking to myself essentially for an hour. I don't need to come online to do that. I'm perfectly happy doing that, just sitting downstairs in a more comfortable seat. But it's been fantastic to have some people to talk to, and hopefully those that have dialed in and asked questions, to get some different aspects from some of my colleagues on the on the Admiralty Board. So with that, please stay where you are, chaps. We can chat once we get rid of all these hangers on in the virtual world. Thank you very much all. Stay safe, stay well, and we'll speak to you all soon. Bye-bye.
Thanks, guys. Bye-bye now.
I'm going to sleep this off. Please let me know if there's some other way we can screw up tonight.